get set up. Okay, on Twitch to stream the opening few hours of Metroid Prime 4. Want to see firsthand how annoying or that one NPC is. You can do that here. Live now. Share the link. We are live. Pop the chat out. And then I guess before we start, I can fiddle about with at least some of the settings. We can turn off tutorials. I can't do any of the further... Oh, I can't do any of the further settings until we're in game, can I? Dual stick fusion... Yeah. Hey, Eclipse! I'm starting a fresh save. I've been playing pretty solidly since Tuesday. Like, anytime I haven't been doing, like, work deadlines, I've been playing this. I am in what I suspect is the final or penultimate area of the game, one of the last couple of areas of the game in my personal playthrough. I'm doing a big ol', try and 100% scan everything first run. But I wanted to... I know people have had a bunch of questions about this game, and I wasn't around on Wednesday night, which is when it came out in Japan. I wanted to stream it on Wednesday, couldn't do that, wasn't around available Thursday night. I was like, I know it's my first night that I'm available. The game's already out at this point, but I know there's still people who've got questions, so I'm going to stream the opening of it. I'm going to do a not stressing about scanning things on stream playthrough and just kind of vibe playing through the opening of it. Maracus Skullman says Metroid 4 more like Metroid Bore. You sure said words that rhyme, and therefore it's probably true or correct. That's how rhymes work. Screw it, let's jump in. Now, it's only going to be showing at 60 FPS, for those of you watching on stream, but I'm playing in 120 FPS mode. On my screen, I'm seeing 120 FPS tonight, which is nice. Because my thinking is, I'm streaming at 1080p anyway, so if I played this in graphics mode at 4K, it wouldn't make a difference to stream anyway, so I might as well have my nice fluid resolution on my screen. My little preview window. The Galactic Federation's being attacked. Oh, Samus, come help us. I don't know what my scan percentage is right now, but I can tell you, Eclipse, that I am at the mine. I'm getting toward the end of the mine. And I suspect there's probably going to be at least another area after that, but I'm at the mine right now. Oh, Retro Studio sure did do some graphics for this one. So, for anyone that's curious, this is the section of the game that was shown off at hands-on Switch 2 preview events back in, like, April of this year? I think it's also the area of the game that was shown off at Gamescom. Was this first area up to the first, like, big boss fight. I've got about 3 hours to stream this tonight. I'm going to see if I can get far enough to show people who are curious that one annoying NPC and how much of a deal or not they are. Because I know people got questions about them. Yeah, here we go. I'm not going to do a lot of scanning because this is not my main playthrough, so I'm just going to run through and treat this like a first-person shooter a bit tonight. I'm just going to run and gun action some Metroid.
What are these pirates looking for? They came out of nowhere. How'd they get the drop on us?
You know, I'm not quite a speedrunner, but we're gonna go. We're gonna make this an action game tonight. What have I missed on Brie Larson? Why can't Brie Larson be Samus? Is there a thing about Brie Larson I don't remember? It's entirely possible that's the case. I lose track of things to do with people. Okay, we got the map. We're gonna go find a mystery artifact in a big hangar. That's nice and easy. I'm gonna scan this door because this door needs me to scan it for it to activate. Actually, I'm gonna tweak my settings a little bit in a second. I'm gonna set up some of my settings slightly. Oh, she's Rosalina. I mean, I think she could be both. When you said it can't be Brie Larson, I was like, oh, what controversial thing did she do? I'd forgotten she was Rosalina. I think you can have her be a voice role and a non-screen role, but you're right, it probably wouldn't be Brie Larson. Oh, who was it that played the big tall woman who was in Game of Thrones? Who's also big and tall. I forget her name. You know who I mean. Brienne of Tarth? Is that the character's name? I cannot remember the actress's name I'm thinking of. We got one more over there. Gwendolyn Christie, that's who I'm thinking of. I think you could get away with a Gwendolyn Christie Samus. I mean, look, I'm of the belief whoever you cast Samus probably doesn't ever need to be seen outside of the suit. Which, you know, not that would make a difference to those kind of chants, but, well, that's it as well. You can get away with Brie Larson because Brie Larson's not really going to talk. You have her be the voice of Rosalina and the body of Samus. Although I don't think they'll be able to get away with, they'll be able to help themselves. I'm certain they will end up having Samus talk in like a post-credit scene or something. Okay, right, so let's shoot. I might want to turn my cursor sensitivity up slightly. Samus is canonically real fucking tall. I forget exactly how tall. Let's find out. Samus height is, without her power suit, 6'5". So, she's pretty tall. Hey, Nothling, I'm doing pretty good today. I got my big end-of-the-year accessibility episode up. It's like 45 minutes long. It was a real mammoth of an episode. I really hope people check it out. Here we go. The artifact. The thing that's in the logo for the game.
I need to secure this thing. We're out of time. Let's go.
What makes me so confident that Nintendo's going to have Samus be a silent or mostly silent protagonist? I'm not confident in that, but I think this game's release gives a blueprint for how I suspect they'll largely handle her, which is largely silent with supporting cast mostly doing the speaking around her. Follow the playbook of something like the original Alien, but with a slightly more silent... Like, I think it's easier to get away with silent Samus in a film, or mostly silent Samus in a film, compared to, say, Link. I think Link in the Zelda film, pretty impossible to get away with not having speak, but... Let's these, get some of those power-ups. Right, still throwing the balls at me, okay. Oh, okay, I need to turn off the thing where I've got slight motion controls on. I don't like this when playing with Pro Controller. Let's tweak my controls slightly. Helmet in HUD, yes. Subtitle background on. Control scheme. Cursor. Motion controls for lock-on free aim. Actually, we can do that, but we'll just have a higher motion threshold. It's probably better. So that I'm less likely to accidentally enter motion mode when I'm not intending to. Yeah, I think Samus is a character you can get away with doing silently. I think as soon as you have the character's, like, actual face on screen for most of the film, like you will with Link in the live-action Zelda, you kind of end up having to have them talk. Okay, get a little... drop here, a little force field. Missed my opportunity. Third one's the last, and then we can get back up into shoot at this. I'm gonna open the little stomach one. Oh, no, I got a double jump for that. I was preemptively trying to do the what I gotta roll under. That's the one. Saw the different shape and reacted too early. Rakus Skolman says, possibly a hot take, but Metroid might be one of the hardest Nintendo properties to adapt. So much of it is spent exploring alone that it's hard for a film to do that well. I think you do it more in the vein of something like Alien. You make it more of a tense action thrill. Like, you make it really focus around Samus and Ridley. Samus is trapped on a space station with Ridley. This is a one of us walks away alive. The threat is the thing that you rarely see, and the tension building. You let the supporting characters be most of the talking in that, as we try and learn what this thing is that we need to fight. I think there's a way you adapt it that works well. Yeah, as Eclipse says, Primefall's a pretty good shout of how they'd probably do it, which is Samus interacting with side characters. Samus low, that's fine, I'll do this with beams. Drop your little force field. Ah, don't grab me. Bastard. There we go, another one down. Yeah, this boss was the end point of the original Switch 2 hands-on event demo and this boss. Trying to test your ability to do, hey, can you do lock-on but still pre-aim the cursor within that lock-on range? Possibly taking you out. Am I gonna get it on this run? I really maxed it through my damage cancel through. Yeah, there we go, we got it. Yeah, Incompetent Hero, I'm on the last MacGuffin currently in my personal playthrough. Of the numbered MacGuffins. There's probably a bit further than that, but I'm on the final numbered MacGuffin right now. Honestly, After Earth, not a good film, but you're right, like, tone-wise, it does kind of demonstrate a thing you could do with a Metroid film. Can you play the Switch 2 game card on the Switch 1 like Pokemon Legends, Legends ZA? I've not tried, but I have a Switch 1 downstairs I can go grab. It's probably dead right now, so I need to put it on charge for a bit to test it, but I can test that out and find out if you'd like. I assume you can, because I think this is another Switch 1 with the update file on the cartridge Switch 2 situation. And as a result, you could simply... I think all that putting the cartridge in does is it installs the update file to your Switch 2 and then runs the Switch 1 version off the cartridge. Incompetent Hero says, the game is a lot more linear than it lets on, which I'm of two minds on, but it's been a fun time regardless. It's... I kind of like the approach this one's taken, which is largely linear dungeon environments that you originally reach, and then you go back to them later and realize that they are actually a lot less linear than they initially seemed. I like having, here is a linear dungeon, wait, actually it wasn't a linear dungeon all at all. Packaging says playable on Switch 1. Cool. I hadn't looked at the box that closely. I got mine a couple of days early and just shoved it in the console and started playing. But yeah, we'll get to one of those dungeony areas soon, and I can show off what I mean by linear until it's not. Oh, cursed, MacGuffins and artifacts. Always throwing me to the other side of the galaxy. Hello, little robot friend, I can't open this door, can you help? Thank you. Can't get over here either, can you help? I need my little, companion core to help. Oh no, I cannot activate the slightly clitoris-esque button that I require to get through here. H.R. Geiger's influence is alive and well in space environment design. Where you at, little thing? Ah, there you are. No worries, say nobody. I'm playing the very start because I know people have questions about it, but I also know there are people waiting to play it who haven't had a chance to start yet. So I'm doing me one little the early areas of the game stream and not looking at most of the lore and stuff that is to be found around. But I do not judge anyone who's not watching the stream to avoid spoilers. Totally understand. I think there's some very interesting lore around here that I'm very much skimming over. No boost ball. I don't have any of my stuff right now, do I? I touched the artifact. It knocked all of the abilities out of me. Knocked all the powers out of me. There we go. I'll scan the door so you'll Help me open it. Hello? Hello, statues of hopefully friends. I occasionally have to scan a thing just so that this little buddy will help me. There you go. Give me a hand. Keep trying to morph ball so I can boost ball and be like, nope, can't do that. Pop yourself in the statue. Let me stare into your third eye for a nice little vision. Oh, no boosters attached to the armor currently. We touched a MacGuffin and therefore we accidentally sneezed a bit too hard and all of our abilities fell off. You know how it is with a Metroid. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean about that like, the Zelda dungeon comparison about, like, the first visit to an area. Because I do think these areas have more non-linearity to them that opens up later, but I think on first visit, Zelda dungeon is the most comparable feel for some of these areas on your first explore, and that kind of is a vibe I like. Natalie says this is my first Metroid game experience. I think it's a pretty decent one. Divisive elements aside. And we will have a look at those shortly. Okay, I have purple crystal in my head now. Chosen one. Our savior. We give you this. What do I win? A psychic crystal. I can do psychic stuff now. Like fire my psychic beam. And interact with psychic elements. I can control the nano machines. Oh, in terms of recommending 2D Metroids, Metroid Dread is a fucking superb game. It is such a well-made game in that genre. I can attack the clitoris now. No, this time Samus didn't lose her powers in a violent explosion. She lost them in a non-violent explosion, just a nice little explosion that shunted her halfway across reality, I guess. Up through the flowers we go. Hello. I am Chatoyant Valoon, the last surviving priest of the Lemorn. You are the chosen one foretold in the ancient prophecy. We, the Lemorn, will cease to exist. However, by preserving our history and knowledge for the future, the Lemorn spirit will keep living. Chosen one, carry out our legacy from this planet Vuros to a new world. That is your mission and the last hope of the Lemorn. The Master Teleporter is located in the pinnacle above us. It is needed to journey to a new world. To use it, you must first collect 5 keys. You gotta go to the 5 dungeons and get the 5 sacred stones. Chosen one, first travel to our temple. Touch this ball of light. Okay, what's it gonna do? I'm doing the Doctor Who theme. It looks like the TARDIS is going to fly through here, is what I'm going for. Welcome to the other area that got shown off in trailers. Welcome. Our Metroid adventure. It is time to begin. It's a little Stargatey, yeah. A bit like how the aliens in Cyclonials preserve their culture. Yeah, it's definitely got some of that going on. Beautiful area, this. I'm curious to see what speedruns of this game are going to be like. I feel like there is some optimal routing that people are going to work out. I'm curious what the glitch hunting community around this game is going to end up being like. Fury Green. Gosh, this game is real nice looking. It's a real pretty video game. Incompetent Hero says, I've tried breaking out of areas to absolutely no success. The game seems very hard to sequence break. Very hard, yes. Retro Studios doesn't sequence break easily. Impossible? I doubt it. And I'm curious. Retro Studios Metroid games have a history of being sequence breakable if you get creative about it. And I'm very curious what people will come up with to try. I keep forgetting I have no missiles right now. Hey, come on, come out the water, buddy. There we go. I have to remember I have very low health and very few tools. We're going to start seeing some of the tools that are going to require us to come back later starting to be dotted around nice and early like this. We can see these psychic platforms this early, but we can't jump on them yet. Got a bit of that going on. I'm going to really skim through a little on this one. Yes, Dread has at least one boss that you can defeat in a super unique way if you go get a late game item and then come bring it back to earlier in the game and fight an earlier boss with it. Entering the desert, there's a promising bit of weird collision. Interesting. We've got the Psychic Glove. Psychic hand powers. the most basic of the psychic abilities that we're going to pick up. We can use it to do such amazing things as, watch this, pulling things into position and collect an energy ball and throw it somewhere else. I mean, it feels cool in practice. I'm being a little facetious. It feels pretty cool to do in practice. The just suck energy into your hand and blast it around. Let's get doing some runes. Hurrah! Little bit of extra health to play with. Stick around fighting more of you.
Data received.
Feels very strange playing this the way I am in this moment, doing a basically scanning nothing run. All of my muscle memory is like, no, slow down, stop it, scan things. I know the beginning of this fairly well because I played through some of this silently on the train home from picking up an early copy, then restarted on the telly with sound on, then replayed the start again in order to capture footage of some stuff. Okay, I can't do anything here right now because there's all of this fossilized peanut brittle up on the walls, getting in our way. This bugger took me so fucking long to scan. It was so tricky to get a good scan of. Bugger. How much have I been using the map markers in my normal file? I've used a bunch, but they're a bit lacking. I've really not used them that much. Once I found that the survey scouts existed, I largely found the game was doing a decent enough job of helping me find hidden things that I might have missed. I wish they were positional in a room. I hadn't tested them out enough to know that they weren't positional in a room, if that tells you how little I've used them. What got me? Oh, did I touch spikes? There you are, you bugger. Oh, welcome everyone. It's everyone's favorite character in Metroid Prime 4.
You're alone on a planet,
Time for you to meet Miles McKinsey.
but you're also not sitting next to Phil anymore in that cubicle, so win? Oh.
Turn the game audio up a tad.
What?
Is that Birdly? Honestly, kinda. It's kind of Birdly.
Samus Aran? Hey! Hey, Samus Aran! I'm stuck! Help me out! Oh. Please get me down. I'll just stay right here.
Welcome to about the next 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, let's...
Oh! I think it's working. Shoot some more. What was that? Okay.
Like, he doesn't push his glasses up his nose and go, "Meh," but, like, he's pretty Birdly. Oh, I remember this. This is the first fight that really feels like it throws decent numbers of enemies around.
What are these things?
Don't back myself into the tunnel. That's the mistake I made before. I gotta keep where I can move.
Oh no, there's too many of them.
Almost got me. There you are. Okay, I think I did okay at that. I forget that
Oh, great job.
you can dash
Now
around
help me
that.
down.
There we go. Yeah, Incompetent Hero says, I saw this in the preview and was super turned off by it, but he's less bad than expected, besides his insistence you go certain places. Yeah, he's here for like 15-20 minutes and he's not great.
Engineer level 4?
But then he largely just like buggers off. Sometimes you'll get a new power up and you're like, okay, I gotta go see him for like 2 minutes, but then...
These X7 said stick a little.
Like, do I think the game would be better either without him or with a less annoying character here? Yeah, I think that would make the game
If
better.
you really want to shoot something,
But also,
see?
he's certainly not enough to put me off of an otherwise great game. Shiny Eevee, this is the chatty guy from the preview. He has literally just showed up. What time is it now? I reckon by 10 past he'll be gone. I reckon 20 minutes from now we'll have dropped him off somewhere. The only period in the game where he like travels with you is pretty short in the grand scheme of things. But yes,
Okay with you, I'm gonna tag along.
I'm gonna speed run his section of the game real quick.
So, where to? Get our bearings.
See how quickly we can dump him. Like, in this section, he will just follow behind you and, like, make cowardly noises.
Pretty territorial. Everything in this jungle trying to kill us.
So I'll upgrade. I was tempted to let him get attacked, but I didn't bother. It doesn't end the mission. You can let him get knocked down, and it doesn't slow down your progress at all. I like how talking to him is optional. I'd like to talk to him, but I appreciate they give you a choice to just keep walking. Yeah, you can talk to him more if you want, but like, he is entirely optional. He's about as optional as he can be. If you can speed run. Like, I think we get to the other side of this bridge and I think he's gone. Like, I think the place we drop him off at is literally the other side of this bridge.
Like this. It's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a most of the areas you go to will have one NPC. The other ones you meet are considerably less annoying than this one.
Moving up.
Try and keep him from fainting. I don't want to have the NPC go down necessarily. Yeah, there we go.
This is the last stretch. I'm going for it. Follow me.
Yeah, if we can get to the other side of this bridge, I think he's good. Yeah. Come on, Kinsey, we gotcha. Come on, move forward. Oh, no, still.
That was a close one.
Yeah, I think it's a decent set piece. Like, despite him being an annoying character, I don't dislike
I can see the door,
the
Sam.
sequence here.
Let's get out of here.
We got maybe one more room, and he's done.
I'm okay.
I'm just gonna ignore him and do this puzzle.
I have no idea what we're doing, but
Yes, Miles, I know you have no idea what's going on. Or how it's working. That's fine. You don't need to know, just let Samus do it. Incompetent Hero says, I think if he were not the first guy, the discourse around the game would be better. Oh, 1,000,000%. I fully think that the reason the discourse is the way it is because he's the first guy. And he's in such an early game area that, like, we've been streaming for less than 45 minutes, and granted, most people will have been stopping to scan stuff and not been powering through at the speed I have. But, like, so early in the game to encounter him and he's your first real talking character you get to know, I think that was a mistake. I think it was a bad call, but, you know. Ooh. Let me show you the first item that we unlock that feels very much like a Zelda item. There's a few of them in this game that feel like Zelda items. Give me a second. So, we can do Psychic, Charged Shot. It's like that, Skyward Sword mechanical beetle thing. You could fly to, like, pilot around and hit distant targets and stuff.
that door just opened all by itself.
Yeah, Prime 1 having, like, 0 dialogue and then jumping to here is a bit of a jump. For people whose only other experience was Prime 1, yes.
This is Samus Aran, bounty hunter. You know her. She's famous. You look very familiar.
The second character we meet is genuinely very cool, yeah.
See? What are you doing here? I worked on her back at base. I'll take a few scans. Maybe we can come back here and get her.
I do like this Deus Ex mech in
Poor baby.
that we have, placed just his most of a mech. We'll get back to that. Cool. Miles is going to hang out at this desk, and that's where we're going to leave him for the rest of the game. He's going to live at this desk. You can ask a question about that, Mac. I won't answer it if it's too spoilery, given that there's people trying not to get too spoiled in chat.
I want to poke around, but decoding the language will take weeks without a translation key.
Okay. So we've almost gotten rid of him already, which, yeah, for the people who were worried he was going to, like, damage huge, lengthy portions of the game, surprise, this is already a lot of the breadth of how much of a character he's going to be. We brought him to his final destination already. He's going to be done chatting pretty soon. A lot of fuss was made about him for basically that amount of him being in the game.
Wait, you can interface with their tech.
I can.
You can understand it.
I can.
You've received translation data, which opens up a world of possibilities. Once I get this working, we can use this tech to our advantage.
Cool. You stay here and work out how it works. I'll put some of the logs in the computer, and you can just hang out here at the computer.
You think it'll work? Wow, that is fascinating. Thank you. We'll put this here. Let's see.
Don't worry, Miles. I made an alien USB just for you.
This should do the trick.
There we go. That's his job done.
All right, look at that. We got power. Well, one door is still locked. The other one is malfunctioning. Hey, but it's progress.
Hey, it's progress. Hey.
All this is going to take a while to figure out, so I'm going to stay here if you want to scout ahead.
Yes.
It's about to get real nerdy.
I'm gonna leave you behind, sir, and not look back. There we go. We've set him up with his little tech desk. Incompetent hero. Yes, I have been able to interact with the tech parts. And that is as much as I will say about that for now. I was unsure what to do with them until I had a particular power-up and went, oh, I see. I gotta scan you. Okay, an ancient altar with a plant motif. Gonna be a way to trigger it to open. Welcome to the big plot of the game. Chosen One. Welcome to our temple. This is the Temple of Memory. But yeah, Shiny Evany, you have literally seen his entire section of the game now. The Morn Priest recorded our history in this sacred tree by offering prayers. Behold. Big magic tree, that. Our legacy is preserved within. Born from this tree is the memory fruit. Legacy compiled within the tree will be inherited to the memory fruit. For the memory fruit to grow, we will seek the green energy crystals and scattered across the planet. Deposit them in the altar of legacy. Get a bunch of green rocks, put them in here. You'll get a fruit, and you'll learn like every secret of our species will just flood into your brain. That'll be pretty cool, won't it? Go go get the crystals. Axolotl and Moth are definitely two creatures that their design brings to mind, and that's a very cool thing to be a combination of. Right, so we need to... Oh, simultaneously target all three things, yes. I remember this. I gotta stand on here, and some targets show up. Then I've got to... hit all three with one chained blast. We got a boss fight. Oh. I've got to schedule around a work trip. Nice and simple. Shoot the thing, shoot the belly. Easy as anything, that. Okay. Now, there's two of these. The problem being, if I destroy one of them, and then start destroying the other, the first one comes back. What do I do about that? If only there were an option. What I gotta do is not get hit. Reveal both of these, and then we pop one. There's the second. Pop both of them in the frozen time. We can get the belly again. Yeah, I'm doing my best to scan as much of the stuff in this game as I can on a first playthrough, but I also know inevitably I'm not gonna cling to watching, like, reading a guide every second on the first playthrough. I am open to the idea I'm going to miss stuff on the first playthrough, and my response to that is, I'll watch the 100% completion stuff at the end of my first playthrough, and then at some point do a second playthrough where I do 100% everything properly. Like, I'm doing my best to try and 100% on the first playthrough, but I know that's not realistic unless I glue myself to a walkthrough. Where's the fun in that? Have I used the mouse controls? Yeah, I have. If you're curious, I can do the mouse controls in a second. I can go grab my Joy-Con and show them off a little bit. I'm not using them at the second purely because I was like, I've tried most of the control schemes other than Pro Controller, and I wanted to give Pro Controller a little go, but okay, let's get all of these opened up. There we go. Yeah, well, see, here's the thing, Eclipse. I started playing this on Tuesday because I managed to find an early physical copy, which meant I was playing this before, like, people had their guides up and stuff. From what I've seen, that Nintendo Life guide for missable scans is a very good, not too spoilery guide. But also, I started playing 2 days before that guide was published, so the joys of the joys of playing a game like this for doing review work stuff. You sometimes play games before guide info exists, and if you don't want to sit there and be the guides person, you just kind of got to live with it. Right. I think the easiest way to put me in mouse mode is going to be let me momentarily turn the console off and then grab the Joy-Cons and then turn it on, and then I can change what my default controller is. Psychic bomb acquired. I can do morph ball bombs, but they're psychic this time. Okay, so we'll get through this quickly. So there's at least one disappointing thing about mouse mode controls, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But generally speaking, here I am with regular controls in the default control scheme. I can just start moving this controller and be a motion controller. Like if I hold down, generally not motion controls, but if I hold down lock on, if I want, I can move the right Joy-Con and be a motion control. But also, if I put down the right Joy-Con, heck, it's a mouse. Look at this. I got a mouse. I really like the mouse controls. I think they're particularly good for you do lock on and then move the cursor like this. You don't have to like go into a special mode to go into mouse mode. You literally just put the Joy-Con down and now it's a mouse. But it only works with the right Joy-Con. You put the left Joy-Con down, nothing. Put the right one down, mouse mode. This game has a lot of customizability for its controls. You can't set left to be your mouse, which sucks for left-handed people. But I do like how easy it is to go regular control scheme. I'm just doing analog stick to turn. Oh, actually, I'm doing motion controls. Oh, actually, I'm doing mouse. The seamlessness of it is really appreciated. You have to kind of get used to your, particularly your X and Y buttons being on the side of your mouse, which is a thing that takes a little getting used to. But I do really like how the mouse controls work. They feel very good. I've generally just been using them on my leg. I've not been using them a lot, mainly because I'm not good with a mouse. I lack the dexterity required for mouse inputs. But yeah, that's the gist of how mouse mode works. I think it works really well. It's also just not really for me as a person that doesn't do mouse and keyboard controls terribly often. Oh, come on. I pressed the wrong thing. I'm trying to swap back to my my Pro controller, because that's what I want to give its tests tonight. Hello? Let me look into your eye. I do generally think that the pointer controls work pretty well on this. Like, it does a pretty good job of being like, do you want to just use motion a little bit for fine-tuning, but, like, you can still use the sticks? Pretty good for that. Ah, I already got my first MacGuffin. The game's presumably going to be pretty short then. No, this is by far the quickest MacGuffin to get. MacGuffins... Okay, yeah. Miles will occasionally call us like this.
Back online. Oh, did you achieve your objective? There's something I want to talk about. Base camp?
I can live with him occasionally being like, Oh hey, I got a thing to tell you. Can I tell you if I see you back at base? Oh my god. Yeah. Also, is this a thing I remember seeing in the controls? Thing I remember seeing I wanted to try out. Miscellaneous. Quick upward flick in the controller. Ah! Without having to do an explosion, you can just do a little jump. Oh, that's what that was. I've not used that at all in my playthrough. I knew there was a thing I wanted to try. Steffi Starlight, I kind of agree with you. I know some people are purists about Metroid to be like, no, it must be Samus alone and silent for the entire game and no talking ever to anyone.
They did not design these for
I don't think this is a good character, but I do think a little bit of Samus
Whoa.
stoically standing there while other people talk at her is... I kind of like.
Hey, I'm glad you're back. That data you gave me earlier is really coming in handy. I've been able to translate the Lemorn language. This planet, Viros, doesn't appear on any of the known star charts. Might as well be a ghost. I tried sending out a distress signal, but there is no activity in this sector.
Oh, we're in the Delta
It's
Quadrant.
really quiet. We could be anywhere, or we could be nowhere. According to these maps, we shouldn't even be here. From what I gather, the only way off this planet is to retrieve 5 teleporter keys.
Oh, we already know that,
I'll do
Miles.
some digging to see if there's
Catch
any
up.
way I can
Catch
support
up with
you.
us.
Now that our comms are working, we should be able to share data. I can provide you with intel from here. What do you say? Teammates?
Fine.
Excellent.
You get a nod from me,
Stay safe out there,
Miles.
I'll be here if you need me.
I promise you, Miles, I don't need you. Other M soured everyone on lots of Samus exposition. I think if they took more care of the narrative and dialogue, it could be a good thing. I agree, but I also think it's going to take them a long time to undo the damage they did with other M. They're going to have to just kind of live with that.
Be careful.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm just coming, I'm just walking through. Well, that's the other thing you can do. You can use the Morph Ball to create balls of energy by yourself that you can then throw into receptacles, which I need to remember is a thing I can do. And create my own little power source. Off we go! Samus is very trusting of this old technology to be like, ah, this will probably take me somewhere I need to go, right? Particularly when you realize that she's not seeing out of it, she's just seeing... Oh, I guess I'm here now. Welcome to the desert. They have green crystals. Occasionally some puzzles and some fights.
Is the entrance to the closest area with the teleporter key. If you want to contact me going forward, use the radio command on the map screen. I'll help in any way I can.
Yeah, I can see why you would spend lots of time jumping at walls in this area. Let's speedrun. How quick can I get myself a motorbike? I'd like a motorcycle, please. This is the motorcycle production facility, and I would like a motorbike. And fewer head-vibrating visions of war. Please, if you don't mind. Oh, I've got a very late night tonight recording more Fix Your Heart or Die. And then in the morning I gotta get up early to go do a book event at the Common Press in London. Doing a reading of Me and My Dysphoria Monster, and then doing a signing. But very nice of the Lament to give Samus a PTSD crystal, yeah. Oh, there's more of you. Hello. If you really dislike Miles being in the game, you can mute the dialogue. You can just turn the dialogue off. She's having a "that's so Raven" moment. Traumatic war flashbacks? That's so Raven. Go get yourself a motorbike, Samus. Arrogant Saga City says, the tutorial area looked like a coral shellfish zone, and there was a plant flower area. This looks sort of bone skeleton themed, bit of Mos Eisley and a bit of the Geiger shit from Alien. Yeah, they do. There's a bit of a lot of different things in the design in this game. And honestly, I think they do a pretty good job of hitting the greatest hits of, cool sci-fi space area design. Oop. Yes, welcome to H.R. Geiger's Thunderstorm. The Vault Forge. An area I will barely explore on this first visit. I want one of these cool motorcycles. Okay, the thing I need to produce the suit that will let me have a motorcycle, currently offline. The way I take the names here is that these are not places that have pre-existing names that Samus would know. These are... I got to a place and it was like this, but here's what I'm calling it. This is the one with the lightning. It's the Vault one. Emergency must be resolved. Get some data from the computer. Does there seem to be any camera control options when using the morph ball? Give me a second, I'll have a look. There's something a couple of floors down we can go find. Okay, we got the map. Okay, so when I morph ball, by default, no, the camera sort of just follows me. Let's have a look. Are there any dedicated morph ball camera options? Invert, motion control, miscellaneous, ball threshold. No, doesn't appear so.
Tricks on my car. Looks like you acquired the map to the facility. Let's take a peek. To reach the next tower, you'll need to open the big door in this room.
Yes, Miles, I know Miles.
Good news is, the generator is right down here.
Yep, and I'm sure I'll get there. Just give me a minute, Miles, I'll get there.
Would you like to hear that again?
No. No, I would not, Miles. Miles gets less chatty as this goes on. Early on, he has a couple of these, do you need me to explain to you how to play a Metroidvania calls? And I'm like, nah, I don't, Miles. Although, if I turned off tutorials, I suspect there'd be fewer of those. I think some of these are because I've got tutorials turned on. Okay, how quick can we get down to where we need to go? Oh, that was more of a fall than I anticipated taking. Fire this around to power up floor panels. Jump up here. I'm gonna do my best any percent routing here. Definitely not good any percent routing, but I'm doing my what's my progression? What's my core path? Yeah, you're not wrong, Incumbent Hero. It has been nearly 20 years since the last Metroid Prime game, and they are somewhat unique in their design. For a lot of people, I suspect this is going to be their first, at most second, Metroid Prime game. certainly not going to be necessary for a lot of the returning veterans, but I suspect there are going to be people that will appreciate a degree of here's how do. Yeah, Metroid Prime 3 was... What year was it? 2009? So like 15 years ago, maybe? Metroid Prime 3. I've not looked at the date. I'm gonna guess release date. I'm gonna guess it's 2010. No, it's earlier. God, I didn't realize it was that early in the Wii's lifespan. The Wii was 2000. Was what, 2006? 2007? Was it first year of the Wii? Yeah, you're right. It's 18 years old. It's older than I thought. I hedged my bets. I was like, 15 feels safe. It was an early Wii game. You're right. God. Yeah, that makes sense. I was what, 6? I was about to turn 16 when Prime 3 came out. God. Hey, I point you fail. I'm really enjoying Prime 4. Yeah, in many ways I prefer this to Prime 1. I know that that's going to be maybe a controversial opinion, and I've not finished it yet, and, you know, I want to sit with the game before I definitively have that opinion, but, like, generally right now I like a lot of the mechanical changes this has made. For me, they're pretty good. Okay, yeah, we're about ready to come in here and clear these out on foot. Just, oh, don't get electrocuted. In we go, in we go. I'm pretty early in the game on stream, but in my personal playthrough, I'm in the final area that has a MacGuffin. There's probably another area after that still, but I'm pretty deep in the game on my personal save. I didn't love the buttons to change the blaster type. I would have liked a single button cycle, but that was my only complaint. Yeah, being able to just hit one button to cycle through the blasters would be nice. Oh yeah, I can do this. I need to remember that I have the option to jump without waiting for the bomb to go. If you remember, that's an option that's very useful. Oh yeah, we're gonna jump over here, pop the bomb in, concussive blasts. Yeah, if your series at its worst gets like an 8 out of 10 review score, that's a pretty good series where that's its low point. 3 was generally considered to be the weakest of the of the trilogy by a lot of people. Its controls were great. The pointer controls are fantastic. I liked it. I liked that it introduced a bit more plot and narrative than... Like, for me, 2's the weakest of the original 3, in my opinion. But I think 3 being the weakest is generally the consensus. I point you fail says, I have a lot of coordination and tactile sensation in my... a loss of coordination and tactile sensation in my left hand due to cancer. Greatly appreciate your work with the accessibility stuff. That's very sweet. I'm very glad that the stuff I do is helpful in some way. Also... Sorry, I'm getting swarmed. I need to remember. Let's hide in here for a minute. Finding storm past. This environment is cool as hell. Okay, can we get up the slow ramp in time? Oh, there we go.
Oh, good! We're back online. The facility's power has been restored. Once you return to the top floor, the door to the next tab.
I like the design of this area. You go through, you restore the power. Now you've got to re-track the distance you went before, but now there's electricity everywhere and things are moving when they weren't before. You've got to go backwards through the area with everything being more difficult, and I like that as an idea. Oh, Steffi Starlight, that's lovely, thank you. This is on Switch too. Not that you can see it, but I'm playing at 120 FPS. The stream is only showing you... I stream at 1080p 60 FPS, which means if I played it in graphics mode, the 4K wouldn't really show off. And if I play it in performance mode, the 120 FPS doesn't really show off. Of the two of them, I prefer the high frame rate, so that's what I'm playing. Despite the fact that that high frame rate is not particularly visible on stream. Yep, look at me, I'm a wheel. Test me. Yeah, I look like a wheel. Is it solely on the 2? It is available on the Switch 1 as well, and the Switch 1 version looks really good. It's very clear that they designed it to be a good-looking and well-performing Switch 1 game, and then just knocked a bunch of sliders higher on Switch 2, rather than pushing it to designing it for Switch 2 and having Switch 1 be an afterthought. It still hits 60 FPS on Switch 1, and its visual design is such that a bit of a drop in resolution honestly doesn't hurt it that much. It's still a great looking video game. Oh, in Combat Hero, that room took me an embarrassingly long time. I've made it look easy by doing it on stream when I know the answer. But yeah, the Switch 1 version of this, it looks great. It's very clear. They wanted the Switch 1 version of this to look like a... You know how The Last of Us for the PS3 was like, oh, this is the graphics set piece that people will remember, like, what graphics on the system could look like? This is going to be one of those, I suspect, for the Switch 1. Where it's like, oh yeah, you really set a bar for what graphics could look like at the end of this system's life. Oh, I forget. How do I do this room? What do I gotta do in this room? I feel like I did this room wrong when I did it. Oh, I gotta... break into here, don't I? I'm gonna get into the tube on this end. I do the throwing thing on that, maybe. Oh, that's it. I've got to create the ball of energy from the morph ball, pull it into my hand, throw it up to there. That's it. I keep forgetting that I have the ability to generate, that I don't have to find one of those in the environment. I can create my own. It's the ability I most frequently forget I have. Right? I think the thing that I'm really enjoying about this game is 100% that it is scratching the Zelda itch that, as much as I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they do not scratch my itch for, like, traditional Zelda dungeon design. And maybe it's not what everyone's going to want out of Metroid Prime as a series, but I'm really finding it scratching my I want a Zelda dungeon itch really well. It feels like in many ways it feels like a Zelda game, but with, like, I'm fighting robots that have a really beyond good and evil robot design. I'm like, oh, so many of my personal game design buttons being pushed. Well, no, not machinery for the sake of machinery. It was an assembly line for motorcycles. This alien species really loves motorbikes. Well, I never worked out what the deal with this area was, did I? I just took a shit ton of damage and couldn't work out how to avoid it. What is the intended way to avoid it? Am I meant to be finding... Oh, safety platforms. Am I safe to stand while the electricity happens? That's what I missed the first time around. That's it. Fucking Ubisoft. I really just wanted a proper Beyond Good and Evil sequel, and we're never going to get it. We're eventually going to get Beyond Good and Evil 2, and it's going to be weird and not what I want it to be. I just want a Beyond Good and Evil. I just want another Beyond Good and Evil. It was such a good not Zelda. One of my all-time favorite video games, and they refuse to let me have a second single-player one of them. Okay, power's on. Give me my new suit. What's a game that made me think this game is great? I wish it was accessible at all. I mean, there've been a fair few games where I've been like, I'm loving this game. I know I can't complete it. It's just going to be incompletable for me. A lot of the time it's around motion sickness issues in games. Like, the modern first-person Resident Evil's fantastic games that I genuinely struggle to play. A lot of first-person stuff with poorly designed motion sickness accommodations. Here's the Viola suit. It's pretty damn cool. A lot of very difficult, challenging, side-scrolling, platformy things in the realm of your, like, Silksong type things. I love Silksong. I'm terrible as fuck at it. I cannot. I know I will never see the end of that game. I'm trying to chip away at it. I'm never going to see the end of that game. Yeah, usually it's motion sickness. Motion sickness is the big one where I go, great game. I physically cannot play this without getting ill. Because, like, with something like Silksong, I'm really bad at it, and I may never complete it, but I will constantly have fun, and I'm more than happy to beat my head against a brick wall until I get past it, despite the fact my hands won't fucking do what I tell them to. That's fine. Motion sickness is like, oh, I cannot afford for a video game to make me, like, too nauseous to eat for the next 2 days because it made me, like, that violently ill. That's a... That has to be a, like, I cannot play this game situation. The first Beyond Good and Evil was pretty self-contained. Miraculous Comment says, wasn't it pretty self-contained? And isn't desire for endless IP sequels part of the reason we're in the slop era we're in now? No, that's the thing. Beyond Good and Evil ends on a fucking post-credits cliffhanger, and then they teased a sequel that explicitly the first trailer for the sequel was, here is how we're going to continue the story following on from that cliffhanger we set up. Like, the reason that, like, 25, 30 years later I still want a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil is because they couldn't let it be a fucking self-contained thing. They insisted on being like, you saved Paige, the day is saved. Oh no, he's got one of the fucking alien things growing out his hand. He's not actually okay. He's kind of covering up that he's been infected by the DOMs. That's going to be a huge fucking problem. This character you hugely care for, is maybe still under alien control or going to be transformed into an alien against his will. We probably need to save him. The fate of this character you hugely love has been thrown into disarray in a post-credits scene. And then they don't give you that sequel, despite, like, teasing it with, like, an entire trailer for a version of the sequel that was going to continue that story. That's why I want a sequel, is because they took my nicely tied up with a neat, nice bow, self-contained story and went, yeah, but what if there's more of it, though? What if you're not done? What if your uncle is still in danger? You gotta still save him. And that's why they forced me to want a sequel. I'm a big believer in letting things be standalone. I loved Scavenger's Reign, the first season of Scavenger's Reign, for example. I'd be more than happy if that never got a sequel, because they let it end on a conclusive point and didn't tease me with, yeah, but the characters you love are all in danger, so fucking sequel. Yeah, no, it's self-contained right up until the fucking Dom's alien green thing starts growing on the back of Paige's hand in the post-credits, and then I'm like, sorry. That's my little note about Beyond Good and Evil. Anyway, let's go ride a motorcycle. We got a motorbike now. Let's do it. Let's register our motorbike. Oh, Scavenger's Reign is fucking incredible. That sequence where the flower opens up and the entire life cycle of, like, a creature happens, and, like, through birth, life, and death, and the flower closes, and it's like a minute long, and I saw the entire lifespan of a creature, and now I have to have no explanation for what that was and just hold the beauty of that. Ah, here we go, here we go. Mike. Tell me this isn't a light cycle. I mean, it's pretty light cycle. Let's see if we can explore the second area. How would I feel about getting only one season of Dispatch? I would have been very happy with only one season of Dispatch. Generally speaking, I'm a person that's very okay with the thing being self-contained. If Dispatch was a self-contained thing and we never got more of it, I would be disappointed to not get more of the gameplay aspect of it. I would happily take, like, a mobile or handheld, like a Switch spin-off that's just the gameplay element. I'd be very happy if we never got more of that story. If we get more of that story, I hope it's good. I would enjoy more of it, probably, but, like, I'd be very okay if it never got more. Okay, can't go through this way yet. Well, I can. What is there to find in this second area? Yeah, although, you see how long it's been since we've had, like, an NPC interact with us? Once you get through that first initial bit of chattiness, for the people who were worried you wouldn't ever get a chance in this game to feel the sort of isolated, quiet Metroid of it all, this game gives you space to quietly, isolatedly Metroid. Samus's armor is so good. I fucking love Samus's armor designs. Where's this third one? Oh, there you are. There we go. Cleared them out. Oh yeah, Riders event happening. Last prize is a dangling Kirby for vehicles. They stopped locking to time blocks this time. That's great. I love the idea of the Kirby events. The time locking them just stopped me engaging in most of them so far because my schedule has not lined up with their schedule. Come on, security door, unlock. There we go. What do I think of the headcanon that Metroid and Star Fox both take place in the same universe? I mean, there's very little to suggest it other than they're both adventures set in space. But I'm not opposed to it. I think that the universe is a big place, and while I don't necessarily know what the appeal of a crossover would be, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't think they clash so stylistically that they couldn't coexist. Ah, security shutters. Yeah, there's a limit to how late I can stream tonight, because I've got to go and record another episode of Fix Your Heart or Die, talking about talking about the next episode of our Twin Peaks recap show, where we finally get to talking about the Red Room, and the intuitive power of dreams. Okay, where are you at? Teleporting bastard, where are you at? bastard. Okay, come on. Oh. There we go. Gotcha. Yeah, anthropomorphic animal aliens in Metroid, Ridley being a pterosaur, the birds that raised Samus, the ancient Mothman civilization. Yeah. I never considered using the Psychic Beam, but honestly that makes sense given that it essentially stops time when the Psychic Beam is doing its thing and the enemy is hopping around. Oh, oh, there we go. Oh, falling. Hello, big spooky arena. Definitely not a boss fight waiting to happen. Not at all ominous arena. So bad at these morph ball combat side scrolly sections. Here we go. Okay, I need to create an energy ball, suction it in, throw it over there. That's how I deal with you. Hello, drones. Pay no attention to me. I'm not a bother. I'm not here doing anything you wouldn't want me to do. America Scum says, since Mary is a plumber who doesn't do any plumbing, and Samus is a bounty hunter that doesn't do any bounty hunting, Link shouldn't be the chosen hero. He should just be an unimportant farmer who never farms anything. You know what game that is 100% an explanation of? Twilight Princess. The start of Twilight Princess, Link is an unimportant farmer who just simply never does any farming. Hello, Techno Beholder? This time without hitting any of the things that'll get in the way. second, and third. There we go. Yeah, Samus, yeah, as much as people joke about it, Samus does have hunt bounties on occasion. More so than the other examples does actually do her job. Ah, fuck. Come on. Alright, you swirlies again. So many projectiles with which to hit. Okay, I think I've already screwed it up. Oh god, it's summoning in another swarm. I'm not gonna get it. I cut hair on occasion. That doesn't make me a barber. I don't know, if you got paid to do that work, and you were, like, the haircuts you gave were, like, professional level haircuts, and you got paid to give those professional level haircuts, I would say even if you only did them every now and then, that would still make you a barber. Like, I think bounty hunting is a thing where if you successfully hunt, like, you know, you hunt successfully 2 or 3 high-level bounties, and you are consistently available for other jobs should they come up to go, yeah, I'll hunt another bounty if one's available. You know, I think that's enough for you to be a bounty hunter. I haven't written a new book this year, but I've written books in the past and might write books again in the future. I think I can still call myself an author, you know? I think Samus has bounty hunted enough times in the past, and plans to enough times in the future to still be a bounty hunter in status. Oh, a cutscene in a big room like this? Whatever could it be? Oh shit, it's Silux. You also got pulled through the portal. That's a shame. I haven't seen you since Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS, I believe. Right, I love that they've recreated his Metroid Prime Hunters run animation. Like, right now, I think this fight counts as bounty hunting. If you can take Silence in, you're probably going to get some money off of the Federation for it. this? Ah, fuck. That's it. There we go, there we go. Gotcha, bastard. I'm so aggressive today, am I? It's because I'm doing a video game where I'm gonna shoot people. I don't generally stream first-person shooters. You're getting to see who I am when I play first-person shooters. I don't play them a lot, but it brings out my... If I have an aggressive side, it comes out in first-person shooters. What's a way... Maracus Common asks, Laura, what's a way that AI slop has personally annoyed you the most? Not necessarily the worst implementation. Well, I can tell you the form of AI slop that annoys me the most. Give me a second for this cutscene to end, and I will try and explain. I can maybe even find an I guarantee it wouldn't take me more than, like, 30 seconds to find an example of it. So... I use Facebook purely as a means to check up on, like, birthdays and keep track of life updates from people that from usually family that I don't have anywhere other than Facebook. Facebook has maybe the most infuriating kind of AI slop on its timeline feed that I've ever seen. And I'm going to literally pull up my Facebook feed right now and see if in the next, like, 30 seconds I can find an example of it to show. Screw it, I'll explain. It is... You know how there was a whole thing for a very long time, and a lot of these examples are true, of, quote, The Simpsons predicted it? Of a thing happening on The Simpsons, and then many years later, that thing happening in real life. And like, oh, shit, The Simpsons seems a little clairvoyant as a result. There's a specific kind of AI slop that is... the theory is it's like, ah, shit, The Simpsons did this 20 years ago. Here's a clip from The Simpsons 20 years ago, and here's it happening now, for real. Except both halves are AI slop. The Simpsons half is very clearly not really a clip from The Simpsons. It is AI slop of the worst degree, and the it's happened in real life now is AI slop of the worst degree. But they're also, like, two identically, like, oh, you generated, like, the live-action one and went, make this footage be The Simpsons. So, like, they're like, they perfectly match up in lip sync in a way that, like, would never be the case. And it fucking annoys me. It is... I will do a very quick scroll and see if I can find one on Stumble, because anytime I have opened Facebook to look at, like, what are my relatives up to... Is it because I'm on mobile? It's when I boot it up on mobile I see all these terrible things. Let me try and find an example on mobile. Daniel Aldrich, hi! Metroid Prime 4, I'm having a fantastic time with it. Let's open up the mobile app Facebook. and see how long I have to scroll before I am fed that specific... I say that now, maybe it's done, but the last 2 or 3 times I've opened to look at, like, relatives' birthdays, that's all that my Facebook feed has actually been. I'm like, oh, really? Now that I'm saying it, I'm not going to be able to find any to demonstrate with, but I think you get the gist. That isn't my AI slop of choice. Not of choice, you know what I mean. Oh, too many people trying to message me work things tonight while I'm on stream. There we go. Oh, the fake ring cam footage. Yeah. Yeah, like the one that I can describe to you the one that I saw yesterday. I pulled up Facebook yesterday on my phone purely to try and go, like, I need to find out when someone's December birthday is. I know it's in December. When in December is it? And both the Simpsons side, the Simpsons predicted it in supposedly in 1990, I'm going to say 1998, the Simpsons predicted it, and the real footage that came out today, were Trump dressed as a baby, with Kamala Harris feeding baby food and going, "This is the only wall you're going to build, Donald?" I don't know what that means in that context. I don't know what "this is the only wall you're going to build, Donald" means in that context. But it was such a very specific... There's a reason it stuck into my head, which is... Yeah, that's the degree of, like, down the rabbit hole slop Facebook is doing right now. Right, Miraculous Goldman, you are correct. That is 100%, like, that is political fetish content. That is someone's political fetish content that they fed into an AI Simpsonsifier and tried to say the Simpsons predict... This is real footage and the Simpsons predicted it. I'm like, Sure, Facebook, sure. Eclipse, what did you walk back into? Someone asked me about what the worst variety of AI slop on the internet is, and I gave that answer. There's one very specific kind of AI slop that Facebook keeps trying to feed me. Oftentimes it's more banal than that. It's usually Trump related, but the more banal is just like, it'll be a clip of a real speech he gave, and then a Simpsonsified that same speech with the same people in the crowd, and like, oh, they predicted it. Oh, they did. It's like, no, they didn't. Oh, Incompetent Hero, that's... Facebook is weirdly full of stuff that I can only assume is fetish content. Because, like, I'll put it this way, I can't imagine a world where some of that content exists for reasons other than someone wants to masturbate to it. I can't consider the real world use case for some of the AI slop on Facebook. And look, I say this as someone that, like, recording Pixel Squirt meant that I ended up having a reasonable amount of knowledge of fetishes I didn't previously know existed. Facebook AI slop still finds a way to catch me off guard with some of the things that people are out there rubbing one out to. You know, if it's not hurting anyone, no judgment, but, like, some of them take me a minute to wrap my head around. Oh god, Google Images being full of AI slop is terrible, yes. The fact that, like, stock photo websites are now full of AI that I have to think to check, is this thing on a stock image website that I've purchased? Is that real or AI? I hate that that's a thing I have to consider. What's in the middle of here? Why can't I get in there? I'd have to scan it first. Currently offline. How do I get this online? Power's running through. Oh. There's a switch up here somewhere I forgot to hit. Oh, here it is. There we go. Sorry, I'll let that message through. Miraculous Skullman is too good to get trapped in auto mod. Speaking of fetishes, call me a gooner if you want, but I don't like the fact that AI is taking over Not Safe for Work. I want to see a titty drawn with some creativity and passion, goddammit. You know what? Yeah. Bring the passion back into drawing titties. Let's hop back on the cycle. Okay, I need the boost ball to do this one. Okay. Ah, the test circuit. Now I can actually do the unlock the abilities of this motorcycle and learn how it works. I did not get the amiibo. I'm very tempted by the amiibo. Just because I think this suit for Samus riding a motorcycle just looks really fucking cool. If I want functionality of amiibo, I can generate my own. I learned how to generate my own amiibo should I wish to. I only ever own the amiibo if I wish to own a cool little figurine.
Yerleşetes lesen kaşinitan alas viola lajetin askanateleth zachet.
So, I'm aware that apparently you get a piece of music that plays in the desert if you buy one of them. I'll be honest, I'd been playing this for multiple days. I hadn't really registered that there was no music in the desert. It hadn't stood out to me as like, oh, I'm missing out. Why is there no music in my desert? I went, oh, it's a stark, empty desert. That's fine. It gives me an opportunity to pop a podcast on while I do my desert drives. It's weird, it's not a great choice, but like, if I hadn't been told that I could have music if I bought an amiibo, I wouldn't have like assumed that was going on. Yeah, I've got to do my alien driver's test. It's a radio button while driving. Okay, cool. I can just put some music on if I'm going to be in the desert particularly long. This themed Forge area and a boss song, that's it so far. Okay. Sorry, I forgot I'm supposed to be doing boost stuff. Got my boost mechanic. Menu for unlockable Viola skins. Ah. Well, hey, you can off of AliExpress for like £2 buy a NFC writer and like 3 blank NFC cards and just make your own amiibos for that functionality. I know you shouldn't have to, but also it's really fucking easy to do. And as such, I've really never had it in me to be that upset about amiibo unlock stuff. Okay, so that's the first floor dealt with. Go to certification number 2. Yeah, let's do scans while driving. Yeah, a great incompetent hero. If you saw this out of context, I can very much see how you would think that Retro was working on a Star Fox racing game. If you saw this early enough that it didn't have the Samus on the model yet. Get all 3 that time. Ooh, naughty me. I mean, it's entirely possible they were working on a Star Fox racing game, given that they weren't planning to be working on this and only worked on this because Namco Bandai fucked up the first run at making this game. Oh yeah, I do already own some Samus amiibo, so I should probably find out if they unlock anything in this. Okay, what's the final test? Ooh, congrats, Vordrella, on your defeat of Prometheus. Oh, I find Prometheus harder. Maybe that's just because I fought Hades more at this point. More times. Four enemies. Oh, I had a really surreal thing happen yesterday. And once I get out into the open world, I might use maybe 10 minutes at the end of the stream to show off a thing that was weird and surreal. Natalie, everyone's trying to guess at the Steam Machine price right now. No one's got, no one's guess, I think, is going to be any more solid than anyone else's. The way that Valve have been talking about the price, I wouldn't expect it to be less than, say, $700. Like, it feels like it's going to be at least a couple of $100 more than a comparable console. Price may even be a little higher than that. It will be more in line with the price of what a PC with those components would be than a console with its slight degree of subsidization, that's the word. You know what? Give me a moment to pause this. I want to briefly show off the thing that is a bit weird that I saw yesterday. That was surreal in a way that I need to talk somewhere about it, and that somewhere's going to be here, I guess. Give me a second to pull this up. Yeah, component shortage isn't going to help. Here we go. Welcome to Laura talks about a thing that is only really going to be of interest to me, but there was a PC gamer did a most wanted, most anticipated games of 2025 or 2026 for PC thing yesterday. I didn't bother watching it. It was very Xbox branded, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. But also, there's not really anything to learn from most games we most want to see that aren't out yet, but would like to see. But I've been talking a bunch about Bridge Command recently, you're aware. I watched a little bit of this just to go, yeah, what is this thing? Should I be paying attention to it? This is the spaceship set from Bridge Command, that place I keep going to do pretend Star Trek. They are on a bridge of the ship called the Havoc, as you can see from the sigil on the back of the captain's console here. It was very weird watching what is very clearly Bridge Command be talked about with PC gamers' fake space lore. I was like, that's not... Also, anachronisms. They're on the Havoc, supposedly, but half the time, like, she walks to the medbay. There's no medbay on the Havoc, that's on the Takanami. Anachronistic. I got weirdly annoyed and fascinated by watching for space anachronisms in PC Gamer pretends to be in space, but it's in the spaceship that I know, and therefore I know it's not right.
Pre-show.
I'm a false
Let's see if I can find a...
Remind me to repro.
Yeah, this is... Fun fact, the door on the left that's all black in this shot is the toilet. That's why they covered it up, is because it's just the toilet. Yeah, there was so much inconsistent lore. And the thing that was really frustrating is she kept talking about, like, planets and species where I'm like, you can't say that on the Bridge of the Havoc, that's not real. You can't be talking about aliens on the Havoc. You'll get sent to see the psychiatrist. There are no aliens in the Adamus Belt. So that was my thing that I got weirdly not annoyed by. It amused me more than anything. Was watching through clips of this PC Gamer thing yesterday and going, that's not how the UCN vessels operate. You can't simply drop 15 nukes on a planet. There's only 2 loaded onto the ship, and you have to get the flight controller's clearance first before you use them. They would never grant clearance for such a thing. Incompetent Hero says, it's wild you can be a sci-fi nerd correcting what is actually an IRL location you've been to. Yes, I can sit there and go, oh god, such inconsistent anachronist design. They went to both the captain's ready room and the medbay on one ship. Each of those is unique to a ship class. The Havoc has the ready room, the medbay is on the Takanami. Also, the detention bay switches sides of the room, and I know that that's because they're using the Takanami and Havoc's corridor and pretending they're one engineering corridor. That's why it occasionally mirrors, is because you've got mirrored designs on the 2 ships. I'm like, oh. I sat there and watched a bunch of it purely so I could sit and silently judge the anachronistic, like, that's not how that spaceship works. Also, she keeps pretending to press buttons on the captain's console. I'm like, look, dear, it's a touchscreen. You can't. You can set it to red alert, but like you can't. You can look at data and give orders. You can't manually fire the missiles from the captain's console. What do you think you're doing? Anyway, I'm gonna fight this boss. Get out. So I'm gonna bring my chat back up. Or that chat window. Ah. Okay. We'll beat this boss. I want to get out into the desert, and then that's where I'm probably going to stop streaming this and go get ready to talk about Twin Peaks for a bit. Okay, I can do this. Doing much faster this time. Ingominator asks how grindy I found the green crystals. Obviously personal preference, but like, I'm really not found them that grindy. When I've naturally been going places, I've gone out of my way to go, oh, I'm driving past some green crystals, I'll collect those. And I feel like I'm still not collecting like the big, huge chunks, which I feel like is where the, like, last minute speed up's gonna do. Yeah, I've yet to feel like the green crystal stuff has been like has felt like a particularly grindy thing yet. This. So close, so close. Got him! There we go. We got the boots. We got the psychic boots. There we go. We've done some Metroid priming. I can jump on floaty, invisible psychic platforms now. And do a double jump. And we're allowed to leave this place with a motorbike, and we have another MacGuffin. And now is the point where the game stops being linear and gets way more twisty-turny. Is after this this area here. Give me the big key. The MacGuffin does not teleport me outside, funnily enough. I gotta make my own way back outside. Using my new powers. They teleport you out of shrines. I've not really talked about those. They're like Breath of the Wild style shrines out in the desert, but the actual dungeons, no, they don't teleport you back. You kinda just gotta head back yourself. I've got the double jump now, so it'll be simple. Back around to the outside. Our newly certified vehicle. Ah, have a good night, artist then. Now drive out of here with a brand new motorcycle. Motorcycle to freedom, to freedom. welcome to Metroid Prime 4 with our cool new motorcycle. We do all sorts of wheelies and boosts and such. So yeah, I'm going to leave this stream here for today. Thank you very much for watching. I don't know if we're going to stream more Metroid Prime 4 or not, because I know a lot of people are going to be very spoiler-averse on it. But I thought it was worth doing a little stream of this for anyone that was curious and wanted to get a vibe of what the game was like. I'm going to spend some time this weekend finishing playing my own playthrough so I can avoid getting spoiled. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. I will be back streaming on Monday.